Hey everyone, this is Brian, no birthday KOB. Just taking a little stroll this evening, and I figured what better way to come on here and just share some uh, thoughts with you today. You know, we celebrate fathers today. We celebrate the guys that we consider to be our fathers, and we consider the ones that we look up to for examples and how to live our lives. And we think about the things that they have done for us in our lives, or we think about some great memories we may have with them, and we think about maybe this time trying to live out the legacy that our fathers set for us. And I know I've talked about it briefly before. If you want to see that video in more length, it's on my YouTube channel, Brian Oberst, is all you type in, you will see it. We talk about Father's Day and their legacy. And the reason why I wanted to kind of touch on it a little bit again today, and not kind of go in really deep in depth, because I want you to watch that video and kind of get a better understanding. But I was out of town this weekend, and it was at Cedar Point with my brother, and just bonding with him and just spending time with him and his family, and just seeing how well he's doing being a great dad to his kids. But I see a lot of my dad in him, and I'm sure he sees a lot of dad in me, and how we raise our kids, and it's just good to kind of maybe pick each other's brain, or just see how we interact with our kids a little bit, and how we carry out our dad's legacy in our children's lives, and seeing how well they've grown, because it's a little bit older, and a lot of them are a little more at this stage. We're starting to get a little more mature and start more grown up, and you start seeing the dad type figure that he's being in them. That dad's rubbing off on him in a different way than what dad is rubbing off on me. And I was encouraged and uplifted by just being around my brother, and I don't get to do that a whole lot. So when I do, it's like I'm able to learn. I'm able to, just by watching him, how his kids have grown, and just watching him and June, just kind of just talk with him how he does it, and get a better perspective maybe going forward when it comes to as my kids get older. And I admire my brother for that, and maybe I don't tell him as much as I should about that. But then I was also kind of reminded today about the impact that my dad had on another guy. We went to church this morning. I haven't seen the guy in probably a good 5-10 years, maybe even longer than that. He preached this morning, and just hearing him talk about his father and the things that his father did with him, and they kind of take it a step further, talk about a father leaving a legacy, a father planting a seed. My dad, he talked about how my dad baptized him, and that was over 20 some years ago. And just getting to hear him speak and just kind of acknowledge, how important role my dad played in his life. And it got me thinking, and I was telling my father-in-law, it's like, we don't know the type of seeds that we're planting in somebody, or that somebody else is planting in somebody. And then when you hear those type of stories, when your dad or somebody did that, played that role, in your dad played a role in their life, that speaks volumes. And I think sometimes we need to look at our own lives and realize that sometimes we need to be that same, we want to be that same type of person. We need to plant those seeds. We need to carry out the legacy that was set before us. Jesus planted seeds in our lives. Jesus laid the foundation for our legacy. God laid out the foundation and the legacy that he wants us to carry out in our children's lives and other people across the world, because we're all considered. And if we're not doing that, we're not teaching our children. And he was talking about kind of how these children are growing up in different, people talk about how the children grow up in our different times where things are not as easy as maybe it was back in then. It's a little bit harder, more challenging. So that's why it's important, I think, to remember to plant the seeds, not just in the young people, but maybe even some of the older generations need to get back on track of that. Maybe people in my generation or even a little bit older, we need to get back on track of making sure we're teaching the right legacy to our children. And that is what the Bible talks about. And that's kind of what I wanted to share with you today, or this evening, I guess, as I'm trying to get a walk in and get some exercise a little bit after being at a car most of the day today, and I'm just kind of stiff and just need to walk a little things off. But I wanted to talk to you that because of what today is all about. I love hearing, in a way you could say, even though my dad's been almost gone 19 years, it doesn't get easier to lose somebody like that when your dad is a role model, has always been a role model, somebody you could look up to, somebody it's easy for you to talk to, and you enjoy just spending time with them. But when you hear stuff, people talk about how an impact that your dad made on them, or you hear stories about maybe a loved one that's gone on before, and you hear those things that they remember most about them, it warms the heart, if that makes sense. It makes you feel good that not only did he impact your life or your or her life, depending on who it is, if it's maybe it's your mother or somebody different, or when you see those things, how well of an impact he made in other people's lives, and that's reassuring, that's encouraging, and it gives you good vibes, knowing that people that you look up to that played a right role in your life, played a role in somebody else's life, and in this respect, a Christian life, and somebody becoming a Christian and doing their walk. And hearing him speak today was just awesome. It was good to hear, and it was good to go back and see some people I haven't seen in a long time. And especially those that, those people that have done a lot for me growing up, and have always been supportive of me through different things and everything we're going through last year, their prayers and their continued prayers and their prayers for certain other things, just in general, how well of a praying church that they are, and uplifting and encouraging they are, and how great they've been for my family last year and beyond. And I just can't say enough. I just appreciate that the legacy is being carried out, and I think that's what it's all about. Us as Christians, we need to make sure that people are seeing the legacy of Christ in us, and we can do that by following Christ's example. And I see that in certain people in my life now. Like I said, I mentioned my brother. I see that in Rob, my brother-in-law Rob, and my father-in-law, and Mike Pamonte, my other brother-in-law. Just seeing them in their father roles, how well they've done with their grandchildren, or their own kids, and even if they're just starting out, they have a chance to plant those seeds. We're planting those seeds in our children, and our children are learning it and growing and being encouraged by those examples. And that's what we need to surround our kids with, and that's what we need to make them part of. I know I've been rambling on here a little bit, but this is what I wanted to talk to you about this evening. And like I said, there's a fuller version of me talking about carrying out the legacy, and you can check that out on my YouTube channel. If you haven't already seen it, or maybe you have seen it and you want to go, maybe just go watch it again tonight or this week, and just carry and hold on to those tight, and really appreciate those people in your life. And if you're able to give them a shout out, just give them a shout out, say, hey, thank you for being that person in my life, for making an impact, making a difference. Not that we need to be patted on the back, but just letting them know that, hey, where I am because you planted a seed in me and you've encouraged me along the way, or whatever it may be. Because I think sometimes we just need that. We need to know, get that reassurance that, we make a difference. Because I think sometimes maybe we lose sight of that. We kind of forget. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about tonight real quick. And like I said, I know I've been going on for a little while here, but I just wanted to take time to share that with you this evening. Hey, I hope you all have a great day, what's left of it. You have a great, wonderful week. And just remember, I love you, so does God. Have a great one, guys. This is Obi out.